Okay, A-Rod and J-Lo. So over the weekend, TMZ reported that they had split, called off their engagement. Then his rep came out and they're like, hold up, wait a minute. That's not true. They're not split. They're working some things out. They're having some issues. Some issues that may or may not be related to Madison from Southern Charm. But they're saying we're riding it out. We're sticking through it. What are your thoughts? Do you think J-Lo and A-Rod will be going to the end? And do you think Madison had anything to do with their current troubles?
Well, okay, so I also did a video on this when it came out, and I was shocked and I wasn't with the J-Lo A-Rod thing if they were actually broken up because this Madison LaCroix, stuff came out, right? And Madison admitted that they had been, her and A-Rod, they've been texting back and forth. They FaceTimed a few times, but from what she said, they never actually met up in Miami. Now, what Craig Conover said from Southern Charm was that they did in fact meet up in Miami and they did hook up, but now it's just a bunch of he said, she said.
Right.
What I'm curious about is when I did my video, again, I go through and I love to read my comments and see what people are saying. And someone said in my comment section that A-Rod was allegedly going through some legal troubles that are up and coming in the next few months, and that Jennifer Lopez wanted to save her image and distance herself from that, the same way that she distanced herself from Diddy when there was that club shooting. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And she was told for her brand, you need to step away. This is not going in the direction that is conducive to you having longevity and a healthy brand long-term, right? So I was wondering, okay, maybe is that it? Or is it the fact that he's running around and potentially hooking up with this younger girl and making Jennifer Lopez look like a joke? Or now they're coming forward and saying, no, we're just trying to work on some things, but we're not actually taking a break. Well, the timing of this, just like the timing of a lot of the things with the Girardi case, is a little peculiar because on the day that this was announced, Jennifer Lopez posted on Instagram on her story a photo of her and Mark Anthony, and Mark was sitting with one of their twins. And I forgot what she said in it, but it was something like, mommy and daddy have you and we love you.
Yeah.
And just being there for her kids because they were sad. And immediately I thought, oh, the kids are sad because Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod did an amazing job of blending their families, as we can see on social media. And, as my parents have been divorced more than I can count on two hands, legitimately more than 10 times. My parents have been married and divorced. So I know what it's like to, and like you said, you have step brothers and sisters. So I know what it's like to come together with a family and then also have to walk away from a family.
Yeah.
And that's where my head immediately went. And then the next day when they announced that, no, they're still together, I was like, wait a minute, I'm so confused. I feel like I'm in this, like, what's happening?
I don't think she was expecting the news to break when she posted the photo talking to her daughter. And from what I've heard from sources close to them is, and this is something that she has a history of, is having a open sort of arrangement, not necessarily with her, but with the guys that she's with. And again, this is all alleged. It's not, it's just according to sources that I've spoken to. But from what I've heard, they had an open arrangement, but because he's known for, going around with the hookers. He's known for being a flirt around town. He wasn't allowed to do anything in front of her specifically. That's why people hear about, I think on Demois, there were all of these people that were saying there are very strict rules when she's in the room with him about other women being able to wait on them or other women being in the room. Like, there are very strict rules that have to be followed when they're together and there are other women in the room. But as long as it's like a don't ask, don't tell. You go, don't embarrass me. You keep it discreet. You make sure nobody finds out about it, but you go and get your needs met where you need to go and get your needs met. And at the end of the day, we come back together. We have a happy marriage on the outside, and we look like a pretty couple.
To be honest with you, had I not have ever lived in LA, I would have been like, there's no way.
Yep.
Right. But
it's
living
so
in LA,
common.
Right. Living in LA, and you sound like this kind of like, I guess, pretentious asshole when you say, like, oh, you've met different celebrity couples or high powered couples who, they've had these relationships set up in this way, and it's common for celebrities. Well, I don't want to say it's common for celebrities, but in Los Angeles, I came to find that there were a lot of people who had open relationships and it was structured with rules.
Yep.
So would I be surprised at all if that were the case for them? No, I would not, especially because you're dealing with, it's not even a normal couple. This man has so many businesses. He's busy. He's on the go. Same thing for Jennifer Lopez from start to finish. Like people say, don't make excuses throughout your workday because Beyonce has the same amount of hours in her day as you do. Okay, well, Jennifer Lopez, same thing. I mean, she is working. So if they had this set up where she's like, I don't want to hear about it, like you said, don't embarrass me, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Well, and then and then there were other rumors that came out saying that Madison had to sign an NDA, and that's why she wasn't able to fully disclose. Not that she would disclose it anyway, but which is also common because if he's going to be talking to other women, I think he should definitely not pick reality stars. I don't think he really knew who she was because somebody at that level doesn't really pay attention to reality stars. Whereas like to us, we know who they are because we're so involved in the reality TV world. But somebody like him probably didn't realize she was on Southern Charm or probably heard of Southern Charm and thought it was some bunk show on TLC, but wasn't actually, didn't realize the popularity of the show or her. And I mean, it's standard for them to make people sign NDAs around them. And I'm pretty sure she slipped it and Craig just outed her. And that's why Bravo had to bleep out the name, is because she was confined from actually releasing that information.
Well, let's be real here too. Just to be fair, I've been to parties again, and this is just, I'm giving my experience of being back there in LA. I've been to parties where I've signed NDAs at the door. Candy Burris on Real Housewives of Atlanta signs NDAs before she has people come into her house.
Yeah, smart.
Lala Kent, who just started Vanderpump Rules, right when she started dating her now fiance, Randall, when they were, I think, about a year together, they were together for a year, they started requesting NDAs, right? When they were having their parties for Coachella and they were having these houses rented. And she said that on the reunion of Vanderpump Rules. So I think that NDAs are not that uncommon. So if A-Rod were to be running around, yeah, it would probably be an NDA that would have been signed. And she accidentally leaked this to the wrong person, which was her castmate, Danny. And then Danny probably talked about it with Austin or Craig, or it's just like playing a game of telephone, but then she admitted it. She admitted that there was a conversation, and that's where you kind of lose because you incriminate yourself.
Yeah, and then I think it becomes an issue of it embarrassed J-Lo, and they probably were splitting but wanted to maintain a front because if you looked at her Instagram that same day, earlier she had done a promotion for, I think, her beauty line where she was like, do you want to see my wedding day look or my wedding day makeup or something like that? Click swipe up or whatever. It was like one of those like promotions, but it was in relation to either her bridal shower or her wedding. I don't remember exactly, but there was some sort of promotion. So it's like you do have endorsement deals and you do have all of these other items that you need to keep up. I don't think they were expecting the news to leak, which TMZ ultimately ended up leaking. And that's why they're like, we have to come up with a statement to kind of debunk this and say that we're having some issues, but we're working through things.
I mean, that's actually fair if you think about it like that. And, Jennifer Lopez she did an interview with Allure magazine, and she said, we are going to therapy. Therapy seems like it's helping. I think that you might be right here. I think that this might have been something that is probably very real. There is probably a split here, and there are, I'm sure, brands involved because you have a high power couple, right? So if they're getting married, I'm sure the venue will be covered because Jennifer Lopez is getting married in that venue. The dress designers are going to be fighting over like who's going to be able to be the one to design their dress, and then different companies want to be responsible for doing her makeup. So yeah, you sign all of these deals with these different brands and there's a money sign with that. And then all of a sudden, like you said, this comes out. What happens to the brands? What happens to these contracts where they're supposed to be representing you for your wedding, your big day? All of that, somebody has to pay. Somebody has to pay.
And the other thing too is one thing that I don't think people always realize is when news like this leaks, it's not always in line with when it actually happened. Like they've probably been broken up for a couple of weeks and have been putting together the PR plan and strategy for how they're going to approach it moving forward. And it leaking probably threw off their timeline a little bit. But do you think they're actually going to get married?
No, I mean, this isn't a good start, obviously. 4 years together, 2 years engaged, two times calling off a wedding, and then this coming out. They're not saying that it's not true. That's the thing here, is they're not saying that everything's perfect and TMZ is just being annoying. That wasn't their response. Their response was, we are working on things, which is sort of, like you said,
It opens up the door.
it opens up the door for a month or 2 months from now, 3 months from now, we hear, oh, no, they've actually confirmed it's split.
And they can say, we tried. We went to therapy. We did everything we were supposed to do. We gave it our best shot and we tried.
We tried.
Yeah. And they've probably already been broken up for a while now. And they're probably not together right now, but they'll continue to do all of their PR stunt moves to make it look like they're still together so that it looks like they really did give it a solid, A for effort.
It's actually funny to me too. In my comment section, I had my head ripped off because I was like, who would cheat on Jennifer Lopez? And people were like, Adam, nobody should cheat on anybody. I'm like, listen, right. I'm not saying cheating's right. I'm not saying you should cheat on anybody, but who the fuck cheats on Jennifer Lopez? Yeah. Like, I just would, I'm a gay man and I wouldn't cheat on Jennifer Lopez. I just don't even know how that works. And I'm sure it's like, we don't know what that relationship looks like, or she might be a diva, or who knows. But it just, in my mind, when you hear about some of these celebrity couples that we love that look like they really have just the perfect lives, like Brad and Angelina, or Kim and Kanye, or that's a stretch, I guess, a little bit, but Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod, when you hear about infidelity or anyone breaking up, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. It looks like you guys really have it all together, but we're just on the outside looking in. We don't know what's happening behind doors.
Yeah. I mean, I wish them well, but I also I don't have faith in their relationship.
I don't have faith in it either. I just hope that, honestly, I'm the guy who I sort of like to see positive, especially, not sort of, I love to see positive, especially after such a dark year. 2020 was just hard for everyone because it was it was a challenge, right? So moving forward, you would hope that everybody has a lighter year and has a lot of love and just the ability to just flourish. Okay. Yeah. So that's not something that I see for Jennifer Lopez in her relationship with A-Rod. And it's sad because this woman, she has her kids, she has her career. It's almost like she almost has it all, but she can't just keep this one thing, which is love, the love of a good man. And I sound like a sappy, like Disney story right now.
Yeah.
But that for me to think about for her sucks. And also someone said in the comment section, they're like, this woman can't keep a man. Every 2 years she's recycling him. No, she was with this man for 4 years. She was with Mark Anthony from 2004 to 2014. Sure, she was with Ben Affleck for a little bit, or
also, who gives a shit if she gets a new man every 2 years? Like, let her live her life.
I know. It's like when people do that to Taylor Swift. They're like, Taylor Swift is always with the new guy. Are you involved? Are you laying in bed with them? Does it bother you?
You're not involved because you're at home because you married your high school sweetheart and you're sad and you're upset with your life and you're upset that you didn't go and play the fields and date around. And now you're stuck in an unhappy, soulless marriage. And that's why you have to knock other people for their marriage.
Wow. I wasn't going all the way there, but no, listen, it's like
mention it all.
Yeah, it's like, listen, guys, it's like when you go to Froyo or the different yogurt places and you walk around with that stupid little cup where you fill up the cup and you try the different flavors. And really, by the time you're done trying all the flavors, you're full. You probably don't want a fucking cup of yogurt anyways. So by the end of it, maybe Taylor or Jennifer Lopez or one of them won't want a man. But they're trying and seeing what they like and seeing what works for them. And they don't have these normal lives. So not only do they have to find somebody who they like and they're interested in, that person has to be able to blend into their life, blend into this stardom, blend in with their families, their children. Of course, that's not an easy feat. Like, that's not the easiest task. So I don't judge any of them. I don't judge a normal person who is not a public figure
Yeah.
who dates around. I have tons of friends who are out there on the loose, just not me.
And more power to well, you got a ring on it, so you don't need to be out there on the loose.
Yeah, and I'm also not Los Angeles got a ring on it either. You know,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not like I
Los
have a ring on it, but
Angeles
sign
got a
an
ring.
NDA.
Los Angeles got a ring on it is very different from a normal ring on it. Los Angeles is like I have neighbors in my building that I've been trying to like let me into their marriage, but they won't let me because it's too close to home.
Not in the same building. Don't do it there.
I know, but I'm just like, how much more convenient? Like, I'm thinking about the efficiency of it, Adam. Like, I can be like, you want it now? Let's do it. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom.
You're like, I'm going to the third floor, and then I can come back and I can record my podcast. Yeah, this is like Los Angeles traffic.
I have an hour.
Sucks.
I have an hour. Let's make it work.
That's okay. All right, you're efficient with your time.
Efficiency. Oh, hey, it's me, Zack Peter. And are you still here watching? Because if you are, that means you're going to want to hit that subscribe button below and that little bell so that you get a notification every time I got some hot tea ready to be spilled. But not only that, yes, I have all of these amazing videos here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/justplainzack. But I also have full podcast episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora. #NoFilter with Zack Peter is available everywhere podcasts can be downloaded. So go and download it and subscribe because you're going to want to stay up to date and get full episodes that are ready for you to consume and devour and get all of that latest hot tea. You're going to want to know like when Erica Jane goes to prison, allegedly, maybe not. I don't know, but you're not going to know if you're not subscribed. So go subscribe here and on iTunes and Spotify and Pandora, all the places. Just do it because, I love you and I love that validation.